My 36 sister N, 29, got pregnant at 18. I am infertile and knew I couldn't have kids, so when N said she was giving her baby for adoption, I decided to be her mom. N went no contact 5 months after giving birth. For a bit of background, N got pregnant by a one-night stand, and she apparently didn't remember or know the father at the time of birth, but when V was 2, a man T, 35, messaged me on social media claiming to be the father of my child. N had run into him at a club and drunkenly confessed to the pregnancy. We met up, he bonded with his daughter, and well, that man is now my husband of 7 years. Coming back to my sister, she called me yesterday. Although I was surprised at her call, I picked up. We made some small talk, then she said she had just gotten married a year back and both of them wanted children but couldn't because her husband was infertile but really wanted kids. I asked her if she wanted to adopt and she said she would just need to get her baby back. I was speechless for a few moments before replying that if she wants to meet my child as an aunt, she is welcome to, and we both can sit V down and explain the reason for her absence, but she can't just ask me to give up my child. She said she'll sue me as she's the birth mother. I told her she was out of her mind and I told her about T. She exploded, calling me names and saying I stole her life. I got too emotional and hung up. D came home from work and on explaining to him, he was beyond furious. I then got a call from my parents saying I was an idiot for telling Ann she couldn't have her baby. I said I never said that and I welcomed her to bond with V, but they refused to listen and said I was being insensitive and harsh and flaunting my family. Now I feel bad because me and N were very close as sisters and I feel quite close to her situation since I know the struggles of infertility. He said there was no way he was letting my sister have full time, and I agree, but I want to know if I'm the idiot for being too harsh and telling her about T. Not the idiot. She never met V, never once sought V out to have any type of bond or any kind of relationship. Yet, she feels she can just erase all those years of OP being V's mom. It's ridiculous, the sister only wants V now because her husband wants kids. Not because the sister wants a real true meaningful relationship with V, nor does she regret giving her up. She just wants V as a prop. She never once cares to step up and get to know V. The sister has no business trying to take V away. If her husband didn't want kids, she wouldn't be coming after V. Not the idiot. Please, limit V's contact with her grandparents. Based on what they are saying, they will most definitely go behind your back to let N try to manipulate her. Also, talk to your daughter and tell her story. You do not want her to find out from her grandparents. In addition, make sure you have all your papers in order. Has your husband adopted V as well? If he hasn't, make sure he does so that he gets all the legal rights as her parent as well. Talk to a lawyer as well and cover all your bases and make sure you understand that your family is not to be trusted from now on. Not the idiot. Giving a baby you don't want up for adoption is fine and good, but she can't reasonably expect to have someone else raise the child for years and then just pick her back up like a Pokemon from the daycare center. Your daughter will quite rightly think of you and your husband as her parents. If your sister wants to get to know V on V's terms, that's lovely, but it does need to be on V's terms. I think you're right to be cautious and set the boundaries you did to protect V from confusing or distressing interactions. I am a teenager and my mom is kinda famous on Instagram and blogging. She had a mommy blog all when I was growing up and of course me and my sister were always involved. It is bad because there's so much out there about us and it's what's gonna come up when I'm looking for a job, when I'm dating, when anyone looks up my name. I found a website that will print custom jackets, print all over the front and back and arms. And I ordered some hoodies that say a bunch of phrases all over them. No photos, no videos, I do not consent to be photographed, no means no, respect my privacy, no cameras, no profiting off my image. It sounds silly, but it looks pretty sick actually. I got one for me and one for my 9-year-old sister who started to not always want photos. And I guess the idea is that my mom can't take good-looking pictures, even candid ones, with us in the hoodies without them having a pretty strong message that we don't want to be in pictures. My mom was mad when they showed up and really mad when I'm wearing mine. Like she says she just wants pictures to remember my young years by, she won't post ones without asking. But I know that's a whole mess anyway. She always says that and then negotiates me into letting her post, like either by saying that's how she makes income, so if I want money for something, to stop arguing about pictures. Or posting without asking and then saying I thought it would be okay because your face wasn't visible or you're just in the background, etc. And I'm always like no, you didn't think. If you thought at all, you'd remember what I said I want. No new pictures of me or mentions of me online. Remove all pictures that include me that you've ever posted. And delete any writing that mentions me. I am just so fed up and upset that my mom is mad at me for wearing my new hoodie every day. She's mad I won't take it off for any event and thinks it's inappropriate to wear to certain things. I know it's really weird looking, but it feels like my only option. Am I the idiot for always wearing my no photos hoodie? Not the idiot. Your mom has exploited you all your life for money. That's creepy enough, but then to try and guilt trip and manipulate you into continuing to participate, even though you've told her explicitly you don't want to be a part of it anymore. That is beyond the pale. It's not like being an influencer is the only job on earth. Go work in a travel agency or something. It's also not like she couldn't continue to be a blogger, she'd just have to rebrand to one that doesn't focus on being a mommy. Surely being a mom isn't the only interesting thing about her. Your mom isn't negotiating, she's demanding and manipulating. In her case, it is her job to post photos, and she's made you a part of her brand, meaning her followers expect to see you and your sister. You're gaining autonomy as you get older, which means the break away from your parents as an individual may be a bit more entangled than for your average teen. It's going to take some very defined boundaries, but whether you can enforce them at your age and in your situation is questionable. You've taken a step towards this with your hoodie. Not the idiot. It amazes me how many parents forget that our kids are not our property. I share stories about my children online. However, I do not use my real name, I do not use their real names, and I do not post their photos. Why? Because that's not my right. Their lives will be forever impacted by what is posted online, and they deserve to choose what is shared. If I want to post about my own toilet habits or my own tantrum or meltdown, that's fine. It's not my right to share theirs. Tell your mom that if she needs money, she can get a real job. I, 28, don't work Fridays, and my brother and his wife, both 34, wanted to spend a long weekend away at their beach house. So they asked me to watch their daughter, 5 and 7. I've never had the girls overnight before, my parents usually take them, but didn't feel safe because of COVID, but they're awesome kids, and I enjoy them, so I said yes. They didn't pay me anything, but we're family and do favors for each other frequently, so I wasn't expecting it. I'm a vegan, and I've never had the girls alone for more than one consecutive meal, and I've always just fed them easy junk food like a frozen pizza or boxed mac and cheese. I asked my brother what I should feed them this time, and he said they'd be fine just eating whatever I made for myself. Okay, fair enough. They got here Thursday evening after dinner. Friday morning, I made fruit smoothies, and they were happy with that. Lunchtime I made them peanut butter and jelly. Dinner is where the problem started, and predictably so. I made a chickpea quinoa dish, and the girls absolutely would not touch it. I wasn't about to force them to eat something that looked gross to them, so we went to a McDonald's drive-thru. The rest of my meals were going to be as weird and gross, their words lol, so the next morning, I gave them fruit smoothies for breakfast again, and then we went to the grocery store, and I got chicken nuggets, mac and cheese, and frozen pizza. And that's what I fed them for the rest of the visit. The girls usually eat better than that, my brother and sister-in-law cook almost every night, but it's not like they never get that kind of food, which I think is an important detail here. The girls went home Sunday after dinner. I guess they told my brother they ate nothing but junk all weekend because he called me this morning and started yelling at me about how I pumped his kids full of garbage all weekend, and now they're going to think they just get to go to McDonald's whenever they won't eat their dinner. I explained they really wouldn't eat the food I made myself, and he said I should have called him to ask what to do, or as they very least cook them something from scratch that was healthier. I got annoyed and said I did my best, a few days of junk food won't kill his kids, and I'm not a short-order chef. We argued for a while longer until I eventually told him to find someone else to watch his kids next time, or at least prep their meals since he's so particular, and then I hung up. I don't have kids, and I really did my best. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You did a favor and at least tried to keep the kids somewhat healthy with a fruit breakfast. When I was growing up, mac and cheese wasn't considered junk. Honestly, I was expecting a 3-day feast of candy, cokes, chips and pizza. Pre-planning on the parents' end would have helped the situation out. Them telling you to make whatever you make for yourself shows a lack of concern on their part. At minimum, they should have given you menu ideas. The parents should treat as a special holiday menu the kids got when visiting their aunt. Not the idiot. Brother presumably knows you are vegan. Has probably seen vegan food before and knows it is outside the ordinary for his kiddos. You asked what to feed his kids that you were watching for free and he gave a stupid answer. He had lots of options like suggesting foods they eat that you could make vegan, bringing groceries that could be turned into foods they would eat, bringing pre-prepared foods for the kids to have heated up. He chose the lazy route. You also kinda picked a lazy route, but you were doing a favor. Everyone's the idiot here. You could have asked the kids to have one tiny taste before having something else. Well, it's not up to you to police their eating, educating them and getting them to try different things is great. It also might have helped if you showed them what was in it. This is a garbanzo bean, this is a grain like rice in a way they might understand. Junk food for a few days is fine, and their parents overreacted. For future reference, you could have boiled pasta and used jar pasta sauce, and it would have at least appeared more healthy. A few of my coworkers live on the way to the nursing home we work in. Since we live far out, it's good to save gas and carpool. Normally it's me, my husband, Anna, Carrie, and Renee in the car. So Carrie is a little mouthy. She complained a few times about the car being a tight fit and I got tired of it and said, if it's so uncomfortable then I don't have to pick you up. She kept saying that she was just joking and that I needed to calm down. My husband said she needed to stop complaining about a free ride to work and she just kept going on about how we couldn't take a joke or that she was just making conversation. Later on, we were coming up on the left turn that I need to take to get us to work. If I had sped through, I might have been able to make it, but this truck was coming the opposite way and I didn't want to risk getting hit in my tiny car. Carrie decides to say, if I were driving, we'd be over there. She's constantly making sly remarks about everyone, so I said, well, you know what, Carrie? You're not driving this car and you never will be. My husband, being the tactless oaf I married, said oh. Really loud and started laughing, which made Anna and Renee start laughing too. At the time, I forgot that Carrie did not have her driver's license and it's apparently a sore subject for her, but I never got the story on how she lost it. Later on at work, a couple of people found out and were asking me about it. Gossip spreads through this facility like crazy. Even a few residents asked me about it. Carrie approached me and said that what I said was mean. I told her that what she said was disrespectful and that I'd take her home that night, but I wouldn't be picking her up again. She stomped off and called me an idiot, then she found someone else to take her home. Am I the idiot here? Of course, you're not the idiot. Are people really that entitled nowadays? Everyone was being raised to expect things for free, not be thankful and keep their mouths shut when they know they've got a good thing going like a free ride to and from work every day. Or a free place to live. Then, they get mad if anything's expected from them, like common courtesy. So your rebuttal wasn't intended to hurt her in any way, you were understandably getting sick of her complaints and basically told her, rightfully so in my opinion. Not the idiot. She committed so many little microaggressions it's not even funny. She was super ungrateful the whole time. And really needs to learn what a joke is. A joke is actually fun without harming anyone else and should not be repeated as nauseam because even knee slappers lose their funny when heard too often and her jokes were not knee snappers. In fact, I'd wager they were only funny to Carrie, maybe the others once, until it became obvious that the target of the jest did not find it amusing. I'd wager she lost her license for reckless driving. Not the idiot. I cannot stand people who keep commenting about the driving style of the driver. Especially if they don't drive. I used to have a friend who kept making remarks about my driving and how fast I was going while I was giving her free rides to everywhere. Once she said, speeding is worse than drunk driving. He proceeded to brag about how she often drives home drunk, but it's not a big deal because she drives so slowly that she wouldn't hit anything, so it's safe. I stopped giving her rides and going in her car after that. I'm honestly out of ideas for how to help my girlfriend, and so maybe I was too harsh today, but I'm losing my mind over this situation. She definitely has a medical issue of some kind. She goes to the walk-in sometimes, but they won't do anything long-term that needs monitoring, so she needs a family doctor. And she's been on the list for over a year, and she does call around occasionally to family doctors, but has not had any luck. But I don't think she is taking her health seriously at all, and offer to take her to ER sometimes, because seriously she might die or something, and I want this addressed as soon as possible. She is thin and small. She doesn't eat much, but partly, and I can confirm, because she often throws up after having just a few bites of a meal, and then feels sick for a while. That kind of knocks her out of the day for a few hours, so she just takes vitamins and occasionally drinks Ensure, the kind of drink targeted at old people to keep up calories, but she is only 23, and she's weirdly fine with this, and says she's always kind of been this way. Which isn't true because we started dating 2 years ago, and I definitely saw her eat normally at some times in the past. She wakes up in the middle of the night to be sick in the bathroom. Sometimes in the middle of the day she goes from totally coherent to looking like a drunk person in like less than 5 mins, and I literally have to force her to drink some juice or something. I am not a doctor, but I know she needs one like yesterday. I'm not even comfortable letting her drive anymore because of how spacey she can get out of nowhere. She keeps saying she's on the list and will get a doctor eventually, but I think seriously this is bad, and I know I'm nagging, but it is kind of scary, and I don't know what to do at all. Today she got really weak and confused and forgot about lots of things we were talking about just this morning. And I said I kind of want to call an ambulance, and she told me she's fine and would be mad if I did that. And I am so upset. I said, like, if you are trying to kill yourself, I can't be with you to watch, and seriously you have to do something or else move out because I can't do this anymore. You have to get healthy or get out. She is okay physically now, but incredibly angry with me for being insensitive about symptoms she can't help. But I know she can't help, and that's why I want her to go to the hospital, because what if she has some kind of disease that can use medicine or something? I really don't know. I know medical info is super personal, but I live with her and see this problem every day, and it's terrifying, so I kind of think it is my problem too. But maybe I'm overstepping. I really don't know. Is it an idiot thing to push people on medical topics like this? Maybe I should call her mom in another city but not far, but that also feels kind of sickish, and I don't know how to act right here. No idiots here. Sounds like an eating disorder to me. She's worked really hard to hide and normalize within the relationship. She needs medical help, and insisting upon this as a requirement to continue living together and being in relationship is not an idiot move. It's a boundary that you need to uphold. Watching your loved one deteriorate in front of you and them refusing to take the issue more seriously can be extremely damaging and difficult. You need to put yourself first and prioritize not traumatizing yourself or enabling a potentially dangerous situation. Not the idiot. If it was me, I would definitely get family involved. She sounds like she may have an eating disorder she doesn't want to address. I don't know, just at the top of my head that's what I thought of. If you don't want to lose her by either making her leave or worse, then call her mom and tell her the situation. Maybe she can give you some insight on whether this is something she has always gone through, or advice and help on what to do next. Good luck, and I really hope she gets the help she needs. Not the idiot. There is either a physical medical issue that requires investigating or a mental health issue that needs investigating and support. It's completely understandable that watching this is terrifying for you and that you want her to see a professional who can help. If you can, provide logistical help in getting her to a doctor, research, appointments, transportation to appointments, moral support during. If she'll accept it, but if you can't, or she won't, you're not an idiot for not sticking around to watch her hurt herself.